All stoked. And we're live. Little sippy, perfect sippy time.
What are you sipping on there?
Oh, I'm just having a little bit of ginger ale, trying to little alcohol replacement therapy.
There you go. Hey, I should probably do the same, but I'm not.
Nah, it's okay. You're the famous musician. You can drink whatever the hell you want. I have to be the professional one.
Hey, so one of us has to be professional. If I don't have to be, that'll be great.
No, it definitely does not have to be you. That's on me. You get to leave and go off onto your merry way. I still have to be here next week for whoever else has to suffer me. We're gonna give it a minute for everybody to kind of pile in. Let some eyes come upon us for all of that funness to go, and then we will get fully started.
Killer. Awesome. Very cool.
For everybody out in recorded land, because this is being recorded and people are going to see it after, and it will be a permanent imprint upon all of your skulls in internet land. I'm Jason. I'm a content creator here at Bucketlist Entertainment, and you have joined us for yet another Q&A, and I'm beyond excited to be back. We had a long month off. Probably felt longer for other people than it felt for me, but we're back, and we're happy about it. We got some names coming in. Welcome. Tell your friends. Share.
All right, look at this.
I'm actually going to do the same thing because that whole professional thing that I said. There we go.
Let's see. So just so everyone knows, I tried to share this on the AEGES page, and for some reason not working, so I'm just going to share yours. Okay.
That sounds good.
Awesome. Doing.
Worst case, our mighty magical Liz in the background will do something in the background because that's what she does. But either way, yes, a quick share would be awesome.
Perfect.
And then once you're done with that, we're gonna get going. But
I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
All right, do it. So, welcome back. Doing another Q&A. You already know who I am out in recorded land. I don't need to do that whole dance and spiel again. But you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'm super excited to be doing this.
Oh, heck yeah. My name is Kimball Walters. I sing for the band AEGES. And I am stoked to be here hanging out with you and all the folks on internet land.
Yes, it's catching on. It's no longer going to be in the internet soon. It's just going to be internet land because I ramble. Super happy to have you.
Thank you.
And as you mentioned, you are the singer for the band AEGES, and quite the singer you are. We are going to be going into all the fun stuff that's got going on with you guys. I have a tiny slew of questions that I've strung together, and then for everybody that is watching, if anybody has questions, please save them for the end, and Kemba will answer them for you. We will force him.
I will.
Not, because when I answer something, he won't, but we'll see.
I will answer anything. Well, mostly, pretty much anything. I just like to talk, so.
There you go. Especially if we get another drink in him, it'll be fine. As the eyes ensue, I will get this started. First and foremost, how the hell are you doing, dude?
I'm good.
We are having some connection issues. Really hope that's not just me.
Hello.
Yeah, and he's back.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah, no, I got an email earlier from whoever our internet provider is saying that your internet went down. We're fixing it for you. And so evidently they didn't fix it good enough. So my apologies if I drop out every now and then, but they said it was better, but maybe it's not the best
problem.
Yeah. Anyway, life is good. As good as it can be.
Internet providers do often lie. It's okay.
Yeah, they gotta find an excuse to, for their bill that they're charging you every month. Yeah. The cheapest plan that I could find was one that had an internet landline. But why would you have an internet landline when you have a cell phone? And so when the power goes out, your landline does not work because your internet's out. So what's the point? See?
Marketing tactics.
It's all scams.
It is.
But a scam that's cheaper than the other scam, so we took it.
I can say that. I did work for an internet company for 8 years, which are years of my life I'm never going to get back. As well as inches on my hairline.
Hey, there it is. I feel like I'm getting there. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not.
Oh, man. we could ramble about that for hours because that is, yeah, that's terrible. In the meantime, however, before we get into the nitty gritty about the band and everything like that, knowing a little bit more about you, what are you listening to these days, and what's keeping you sane during this absolute shit show we know as COVID?
What am I listening to? It's funny. It's like I was thinking about this the other day that I haven't actually listened to music within my genre consecutively in a long time. Like I've been listening to more like slow jams, 50s surf pop, you know, because I find that I don't dig into bands a lot lately, you know, like I want it in the background just to kind of get my vibe going. So I've been going on and just putting playlists of like 50s surf pop, you know, or French pop. I really like old school French pop because you don't know what they're talking about. So the lyrics, even if they suck, they're not going to drive you nuts. And it's really cool. And it sounds sexy every time. They could be singing about grass and it sounds good, you know. So unfortunately, my playlist lately isn't awesome if you're into heavy music, but it is great. I've been listening to a lot of Cardigans. I always listen to a lot of Cardigans. That's my favorite band. But I listened to Anderson .Paak like all day yesterday because I think he's insanely great. And then that new thing that he's got with Bruno Mars, Silk, or I guess that's the name of the song, Silk. The tequila hit. Now I'm going to be jumbling all my words up. So that's me.
That's okay, man. I dig the tequila hits. If I could be the non-professional one, I would be doing the tequila hits with you. I'm good at my job. And hey, like I feel you. There are times where we can't do the heavy thing all the time because then how would we stay creative? How would we make new heavy things if we don't hybrid them with other things, especially like French surf pop? Because fuck it.
Well, dude, that's the thing that drives me nuts is when people are like, wait, you don't listen to just like thrash or whatever. And it's like, well, if I did, I would be writing the same songs as those guys because you got to get influenced by something. And if you're just listening to bands that sound similar to you, then you're just all going to sound the same. So, and music is it's a very subjective matter. You know what I mean? Like it's all good, all of it.
I fucking feel you, man. Great minds think alike. And also, the second you mentioned Anderson .Paak for everybody out there in the wonderful world, immediately my boss and savior, Liz Imperiale, whom is making all of the fun little things happen in the background, turned into a puddle. She loves Anderson .Paak. She's definitely very excited about this. So good choice on that one. We will move on because that's what I do. Tell us how AEGES came together, man. Give us the whole fucking story. I know you probably told it 150 times, but do it again.
Hey, man, if anybody wants to hear it, I'll tell it. No worries. So AEGES started, I think, in 2011. Sorry, I got my ears in, so that's why I keep doing this. In 2011. Okay. And it was originally, it started with me and my buddy Larry Herwig, who's the drummer of this band Pelican. He and I always wanted to play in a band together. We never did. And then we started AEGES on our love of quicksand, hum, and failure. That's kind of like the basis of where we started. We're like, how do we write music that's going to work for both of us? And it's like, oh, well, these three bands are what we both love, you know, so let's write riffs like that. So that's the foundation. Then we got Tony Baumeister, who's still currently is the bass player. He's like my right hand dude. And then the original guitar player, Mark Holcomb, who's him and Larry no longer with us. So that's how the band started. We've since then had a few drummers and guitar players switch in and out, but now we have a brother duo, Dylan Howard and Trevor Howard, who are freaking awesome. They're great. They're who did the last record, Drawman, with us. So hopefully they're sticking around for a while. That's the short of it. You know, it could be really long, but I'm gonna make it as short as possible.
I'll pop some popcorn. Make it as long as you fucking want, man. Yeah. I don't mind.
Well, that seemed good for now.
Yeah, that works. That totally works.
Yeah.
You just recently dropped a new song. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first track you guys have dropped since your last release in 2016. I could have fucked that up.
You did. No, it's okay. So the unfortunate world of COVID, we released a record. So Waitlist is probably the record that you're talking about. It's 2016. That was our major label record, all that kind of stuff. Well, we split ways with that label, and in 2020 released completely self-released, produced everything, record called Dramen, which we're super psyched on. We did Shiprocked, which was like a rock cruise in,
of course,
the end of January and early February. And then immediately after jumped like beginning of February to the end of February with our buddies Crowbot, Like Machines, and the Jab. And we were in like the starting stages of promoting this record Dramen that came out at the very tail end of January 2020. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, the world shut down. February 27th was the last AEGES show. And then, you know, I didn't see the guys for another year and a half after that. And so Dramen, the record that slipped through the cracks, has been slowly, you know, gaining traction, but not as much as we would have hoped since the world shut down.
Understandably.
What are you going to do? Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's been a nightmare time trying to create and put out music and all of those things. I commend you for at least pushing through it. Of course, massive apology on my misstep there. That being said,
it's all good. It's all good.
Q&As are for.
Hey, the fact that you know that we have a record in 2016 is great. You know,
I did somehow. I do still suck at my job. Make no mistake.
Hey man, it happens. It happens.
But I did actually listen to Colors ad nauseum, and it's a fucking great tune. So tell us about putting out a new song after, I'm assuming, not feeling like you gave Dramen enough love out into the world.
Yeah.
Like, what does it feel like to just? When did you come to the decision of putting out that song, and what are you looking at in terms of putting out a whole other release before this whole thing is fucking done with?
Well, see, that's the crazy part, is who knows when it's going to be done. So that's kind of what Colors was kind of testing the waters for. So we released Dramen, which was the record that came out in January 2020, and world shut down. And so as we waited, you know, it was March 13th, the world completely shut down, and we were told 2 or 3 months that you couldn't tour, couldn't do anything. And me and my guys were like, holy crap, we just released a record. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Of course, that just kept going and going and going. And the anxiety and stress built up and then just dissipated, where it's like, well, you have no control anymore. It's just gone, you know? So what do? We have a whole new record ready. I mean, I wouldn't say it's ready. Like, we wouldn't put it out right now, but we have a bunch of songs recorded. A lot of them are mixed. Most of them are mastered. You know, it's pretty ready. We could have it out there if we wanted to, but without touring, you're not going to do that. And so Tony, my bass player, and I were toying with the idea of what do we do? We can't tour. We gotta tease, you know, at least keep the name relevant. And Colors was the one song that we decided was different enough, unique enough, and still us to throw out there and get people stoked again, you know, so they don't forget, you know. Because that's always the thing. Like, when you take enough time off, and nobody wanted this time off, but when you take time off, you always got to worry, do you have the staying power to keep your fan base? And so that's why we released Colors. In case we didn't, we got to hold them in somewhere.
It's a fucking killer tune, and if that doesn't hold dudes in, I don't know what will, man. It's a solid start, and that is the mentality. You know what I mean? Do you sink or do you swim? So glad you guys chose to swim. It's funny that you mentioned Shiprocked for a couple of reasons. One, we here at the Bucketlist family are formerly great friends with the Wilson family, who, if I'm not mistaken, started that particular cruise.
Right on.
Great dudes. Sad to see them go. And all kinds of details on that in the story that we won't get into.
Sure.
But big shout out to them. I guess that's what people do on the
internet. Those guys are awesome. Everybody that works that Shiprock thing is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I am an eternal fan of I'm an absolute eternal fan of Full Blast Fuckery. I'm never gonna not love that record. So that holds a special place in my little Southern loving heart.
There you go.
But moving on from that, you actually have, even before all of this, during the process of Waitlist, an impressive catalog of bands that you have played with at some point. I'd love to know how bands like Tool and Coheed and Thrice came about. What got you on some of those shows? Were they festivals? Were they tours? Give us a lowdown on that history lesson.
So Coheed and Thrice were were things that I'm like very stoked on, because those were the bands asking for us to play. Ooh. So yeah, so the Coheed show, as it did us. So the Coheed show was it was a secret show in LA at the Troubadour. That was the first one. And then we did another one in I believe it was Tucson, Arizona, with our buddies Silver Snakes. Opened that one up. But we did the secret show, and it was, I guess it was the release of whatever their record was, I think in 2013, maybe. You know, so this was like the very beginning stages of the band. The original lineup, I believe, is original lineup. No, mostly we had a different guitar player, but original lineup plus the guitar player. And those guys asked us to do the secret show and then the Arizona show, and that was freaking awesome. And then Thrice, they did like the same kind of thing. They had a show coming up, and they asked us to be the main support for their record release or pre-release, pre-tour thing. And we were kind of hoping for both to be leading into tours, but that didn't happen. But either way, it was amazing. We made friends, you know, lifetime friends with both those bands. Then the Tool thing, when we signed with our management company, our management was managing us, Living Color, Mogwai, and Tool. And so those are the 4 bands that they had. And so we're like, which is a big reason why we signed with them. We're like, holy crap, why do you want to work with us? Because those bands are way more ripping than we are. So we did it. And that's one of the cool things that came out of it, was that we got to do some of these cool festivals. That Tool one was a festival. So that was with like Primus, Tool. It was Monster Mash. So one stage, which was pretty wild. Yeah.
You quite I think shared the stage with them.
Yeah. So I think we were second to 6 that day. And the crowd, it was like 90,000 people or 40,000. Either way, it's tens of thousands of people at like 1 PM, just ready to rip, you know? So it was pretty tight. Yeah.
That is, I would need to see a doctor after that. That's for sure. I don't.
And it was Halloween too. And so we were all dressed up.
Even worse.
Yeah. So my bass player, Tony, was in full Mike Myers outfit. Like he had the mask on and everything. And the like the workman's onesie, you know, whatever, the Mike Myers outfit. And then I was like, I had a Lucha Libre mask on, which came off super fast. It felt like it was on forever, dude. I was dying under there. I couldn't see anything. I was just sweating because it was midsummer. And then Corey, the guitar player at the time, he was dressed up as a hot dog. So it was like one of the biggest, coolest shows we ever had. And we're dressed up like a bunch of idiots. But it's so good. I love it. The photos are so great. Yeah.
Oh, it's memories, man. Fuck it. If you walk out to those situations with a zero fucks given attitude, you will be remembered forever. But I am with you. I've tried doing a show with a mask on. Nope.
Dude, it's hard, man. It's super hard. I felt bad for the other guys because I had a shirt with fake blood on it, and that was really it, aside from the mask. And I was like, sorry, I can't do my thing without seeing and much less breathing. Like it was brutal. My face, it just felt disgusting when I pulled that thing off. But it was very cool.
Think a Slipknot, and 2, the move would have been painting a little bit of fake blood on your nose, and then you could have just been Andrew WK as soon as you took the mask off. You would have been fine.
That would have been great. And
where was I when you needed me?
Dude, his new songs are so freaking good, man. I'm so stoked.
Holy shit.
That's actually something I've been listening to a lot of lately. Those 3 songs just on repeat because they're great. They're easy, they're simple, and they're freaking heavy. And it's like, holy moly, you can sing really well. He's not doing his like, you know, the I get wet thing. You know,
people forget that he's an amazing musician, and B, especially with his singing, the guy did take classes from Melissa Cross, and you don't get better in terms of vocal teachers anywhere than Melissa Cross.
Yeah, very true.
I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm standing by it. I love that one.
There you go.
But I'm with you. I'm absolutely.
Wait, hold on. Is that the lady that you have her tattoo or something on your stomach? I was watching.
Oh, Jesus. You know about that. Okay.
Well, research goes both ways. And you did an interview with my buddy Brandon. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this one first.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Melissa. And I was like, who is this? And they said the name. Boom. Connected.
I was crying for several hours after that interview. And yes, I do have her logo tattooed in my stomach.
That's awesome.
I think the internet's seen enough of my stomach, as have I, so we won't be doing that again. But yes, thank you. Thank you for the research.
Sure, man.
Deeply appreciate it. You are making me blush.
Hey, I do what I can. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I am. Yeah, this is going incredibly well.
There we go.
Moving on from that.
Yep.
So you mentioned a little bit before, you just put out the single for now just to see how it was received.
Yep.
Do you have anything in terms of immediate plans as to what's going to happen next for you guys? Do you have, are you going to try and feed in a little bit to the live stream culture? Are you going to try and see if you can get yourself on one of these shows that are coming out? What's coming up next for AEGES?
So one thing that we're going to do, we don't have the logistics behind it yet, but our 10-year anniversary of our first record is the beginning of next year. So we're going to do something special for that. And it's probably going to be a live stream type thing, because the ideas we have in play are not necessarily something we would do in front of a lot of people. So that's one thing we're thinking of live stream wise. But in the immediate future, people always ask, like, are you guys going on tour? Are you jumping on festivals and stuff? And the thing is we probably could have gotten on some of these festivals, but I didn't want to be that annoying guy hitting up my booking agent and being like, yo, we want to get on. Sorry, you can hear my dogs barking. We want to get on Aftershock. We want to get on Louder Than Life. We want to get on all this stuff, when it's like everybody does. The world was shut down, and so every band's going to want to do it. And then as far as touring is concerned, it's like all the biggest bands are fighting for the same space. And at the same time, they're all getting shut. Not all of them, but a lot of it's getting shut down still. And so I told the dudes, let's wait till 2022 to see how the world goes till we get out there. And so we're not doing any touring this year, but we will probably do some type of live stream. We haven't done it. I've been skeptical on it just because we're a very live band. And it's never the same every night. I don't say the same stupid jokes, I mean, unless you ask my bass player, he might say it differently, but I try not to say the same thing every single night. And so without having an audience, it's hard to feed off of a camera person, to get what your natural performance would be. But I think at this point, something's better than nothing, right?
I am with you. Any kind of flow is better than nothing. I'm not a huge, I myself, if this is a conversation we're going to have, am definitely not an immediate fan of things like live streams, especially with bands that I find try to force it too much. So it's interesting and both awesome to hear you say, like, we're a live band, I feed off of crowds. At least you're not like constructing a thing, putting yourselves on guardrails and being like, all right, this is the moves we're going to do for each song.
Oh, no way. That would never
happen. Have you seen that like I've seen that? Am I fucking crazy?
Dude. I mean, that's, nothing against bands that use these, but a lot of times when you see the rock boxes, whatever you call them, like where the risers, yeah, they have those things. That they're like, okay, on this part, the two guitar players are going to do like the harmonized solo, which is cool. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but I would never do it. Like in my world of live performance, that's not where I live. I'm not a choreographed guy. And I get hired to play with people too. And I've never been hired to play with anybody that's like, okay, at this point, we're going to step out and do the swing down and we're going to come back and do that. I've seen my buddies' bands do that. And I've just been like, dude, that makes you look old, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Not only does it make you look old, it also makes you look unoriginal. And I got no problem saying that out loud. I'm just not going to say the bands I'm talking about because then I'll get in shit.
You don't got to call people out too hard.
There's only so much whipping I can take, especially now that my boss lives a block away from me.
There you go.
If no one hears from me tomorrow, tell my family I don't give a shit about them.
Oh, man.
We have talked about a plethora of bands throughout the entirety of this so far. And I usually like to try to make a big section out of this, but let's, for the fact that we're both sweating our balls off right now, let's try to keep it simple. I want you to name me two of your biggest influences right now. Go.
Oh, that's easy. Quicksand is the ultimate biggest influence, and Walter Schreifels being the main influence from Quicksand. So anything that he does is probably one of the biggest influences for AEGES. And then when I was a kid, as unfortunately generic as it sounds, Dave Grohl was a guy that I wanted to be because I'm originally a drummer. And so Nirvana was my favorite band. And then Foo Fighters came out. The first 2 records just completely blew me away. And all their records, I think, are great. But those first 2 records, I was still super young when they came out. And so they hit me a little bit harder. So I guess immediately that would be those. But yeah, I guess it was a quick question. So that's my quick answer.
It's good. There's more to it. Which
okay, good. Because I have a lot more to say.
In that direction.
Try not to.
Because it's awesome. This is gonna be fun. Who, if you've done your homework and you've seen me do this section, I like to call it Battle of the Blank. I'm not gonna go nuts about it.
All right.
Who wins in a fight between those 2 musicians?
Oh, those 2? Oh, Dan. I mean, I hate to say it, but
physically big.
Grohl would thrash Walter, dude. I mean, that dude, he is like the Daisy of hardcore, like the Daisy flower of hardcore. I feel like if you asked him, he would probably say the same thing. Like the dude is so nice and so soft, and like he's like the most hippie hardcore guy you've ever seen. I personally don't know him. I've met him a few times, and this is why I'm saying this, because he's so genuine, so nice, and so soft. But he writes the heaviest riffs. So Grohl would thrash him. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. But what happens if they have both of their respective bands backing them up? Does Foo Fighters win or does Quicksand win?
Foo Fighters would win because now there's like 17 of them. I mean,
this is fucking true.
You know.
Liz and I saw them, I think, a couple of years ago when they finally like trekked up to Canada for the first time in Lord knows how long. And I'm looking back on it right now as you mentioned that, and I'm kind of wondering, like, when did Foo Fighters become a ska band?
Yeah, they got
17 dudes up there.
Yeah, the backing, the choir kind of thing too. But I feel like out of all those guys, Chris Shiflett, that dude is like a little stocky guy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that guy could lay a punch pretty hard.
I would pay to see it.
I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Pat Smear. I feel like that dude's just been around in the scene so hard that he probably doesn't have any feeling in his body. So if you tried to punch him, he'd be like, "Oh, I know what this feels like. It's okay," and then he would just win. Out of stamina alone, he'd probably win. You know what I mean?
I absolutely love that. Isn't he already missing teeth too? That he just like never fixed, even though he's got all the money in the world. Like,
dude, he might. I don't know. He's an older dude, man. It's pretty wild. He looks freaking awesome.
Those guys have seen some shit, and that's why I love this section. But that will be it for that. I do have one last question for you, and then for all of you out in the chat, if you've got questions and you want to ask them, we would love to ask them. So. Start cranking them out, and Liz will get them on the screen. But before that, again, if you've done your homework and you've noticed one consistent thing that we do in literally every interview, and that's go for the cheap pop. You have done a plethora of things with your career already. You've played with massive bands. You've been on massive tours. You've been on massive shows and cruises, put out a bunch of records, or signed with one of the biggest management companies that you can think of. What's left on the bucket list for you, man?
To do it all again. I feel like
do it a second time.
Yeah. Time to go back around the sun. You know what I mean? No matter how high you get, you always come back down. And so it's like taking a flight. You know, you land at your destination, and then you're like, well, I've seen it. I want to do it again, but I want to do it at this part. You know, I want to go this place. So haven't gone on tour with Alice in Chains, Deftones, Torch, stuff like that. I would love to tour with all those guys. Write songs with those guys. I'll probably see if Brandon wants to sing on a song with us, you know, stuff like that. Like there's a million different things. So yeah.
I fucking love all of that.
It never ends, dude. It never ends. I'm never satisfied. But I'm always happy.
And that's where it's at. As long as you're enjoying it, keep enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And that's what we live for here at Bucketlist. Enjoyment and suffering, but mostly enjoyment.
I choose not to suffer. I like to enjoy. Suffering, I don't.
Yeah. I just like to torture people with having to put up with me for half an hour to an hour.
Hey, it's okay. It's not as bad as you might think.
Your suffering is at least coming to an end. This is not a Clive
Okay.
Barker movie. Jesus will not weep. We're going to ask some of the questions that have been coming into the chat. If the mighty lizard wants to start posting them up, here we go. Ask Kemble when he's going to start playing PRS guitars.
Oh, that's an easy answer. Never.
Moving on. No. Any particular
Sorry,
reason
Brian. No, actually, I love the guitars. I think they're really nice. They play really well. They sound good, but they don't sound like anything, if that makes sense. Like you play a PRS, it's like drinking like just the cleanest, purest water ever. It quenches your thirst. You feel fantastic, but you don't have any feeling about it. You're just like, okay, now I feel great. It didn't make me think of anything. It didn't inspire me to do anything. That's a PRS for me. Like I just feel like it's just beautiful. I don't like pretty, you know.
So tell me this: what's the tequila of guitars for you then?
The tequila guitars. Well, right now the one I'm using the most is this. This guy. It's actually a fan gave it. A fan gave it to me, who is now a homie. I've done some vocals on one of his band's records, but he gave this to me. I don't know what year it is, what it is. It's made in the U.S., so that's nice. But it's a freaking ripping telly, and
is that the Springsteen telly? Is that what I'm looking at right now?
I don't know. It's really nice, but I didn't realize up until a year that I had it that it's got like this coil tap button in it, and so like I've been playing it, and like you flip up to the neck, and it coil taps it or something. It's awesome. I didn't deserve it from the guy, and so I really appreciate it. Sorry, Brian. Boo to you, bro. PRS, no thanks.
I mean, no. If that does very much look like Springsteen. I'm a massive Springsteen fan. The world can know it. I don't give a shit.
Dude, I got a Bruce Springsteen shirt. I should have worn it.
I would have married you on the spot.
Matters, but
you got dogs. We listen to the same music. You like Springsteen.
There it is.
Yeah. You might be having sex tomorrow.
Maybe not quite, but close enough.
You're not quite. Let a boy dream. All right. Moving on. Brian asked ask him what it was like touring with Local H.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. So like we never heard a bad story, but we always heard like those dudes are really great. But when you talk with Scott, the singer, if you get into politics, it's intense. You got to be ready. I'm not a big political guy, but I can get into it, whatever. And we just hit it off, dude. All of us hit it off. And Ryan, their drummer, who I think we first toured with them in 2014. Ryan Harding was the drummer back then, still is, and he became a really great friend to me and the rest of the guys, and Scott as well. But Ryan and I talk all the time. Yeah, I love that band. It was freaking awesome. The fans were great. The shows were packed every time, and it was really inspirational to see a band that's done so much on such huge scales, small scales, everything, and like write such great music and still be two dudes in a van loading everything and doing everything themselves. You know, it's like when people blow up or like they get big, they feel like, oh, I'm going to hire a crew. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get the big bus. I'm going to do that, whatever. It's like, you don't have to do that. That just costs you money. And these guys are inspirations to me. I think they are. They're all right. They're rap. There you go. My extended answer. Those dudes rip. And listening to them every single night was awesome. So, yeah. Great question. Thank you. Yeah.
Fucking love it. Well, Brian does also want to throw in there, when you guys did Ain't Talking About Love with them, it was epic. So
nice. Heck yeah. That's awesome. I love that. We actually did, I think it was one of the Levee breaks too, as the both bands on stage, two drummers, everything. It was gnarly. But there's no video anywhere. Out of all the times people are constantly have their phones up, we did that. Nobody had their phone up. Probably because it ripped so hard.
No, fuck this.
They're like, we actually have to watch this now. This deserves full attention.
Solid fucking save. Hell yes. That's
what I tell myself.
Pump to end all self pumps. I love that.
Yeah.
The mighty boss lady herself does ask the best question of the evening, though. Liz wants to see the dogs.
Well, here's the thing: is I got my ears plugged in, so then I'd have to leave and go get them. But here, I'll show you them. So my dog is a terrier Chihuahua something mutt mix that we rescued. She's amazing. But then my wife and I, we help with like rescues and foundations and stuff like that. And we actually just started fostering this little Frenchie that was part of the dog meat trade from China. So it got flown over, traumatic situation. And within a day with us, the sun just started blasting. I don't know if you can tell. But good. Within a day of it, it's love and life. So here you go.
Oh, absolutely.
So Bowie's the one in the front, and then the Foster is the one in the back.
Just conquering Bowie.
Yeah. They're awesome. They're great.
I absolutely adore that. I adore it. Well, we have come to an end of our viewer questions. We come to an end of my questions. We probably come to somewhere close to the end of your patience. I deeply appreciate you showing up. Going to do a little bit of self-stroking for myself and for the bucket list name, and then we are going to let you have the floor in terms of promoting what you want to promote. Sure. For everybody watching, thank you so much for showing up. We deeply appreciate it. We always appreciate it. Always be here. Be with us for fucking ever. Watch this recorded video from wherever you can find it, which is the Bucketlist Facebook right here on Bucketlist Entertainment on Facebook. You'll also be able to see it on our YouTube at Bucketlist TV. And you can check updates from us on our Instagram at Bucketlist Entertainment or Bucketlist ENT, if I'm remembering correctly. I might have fucked this up. As well as our Twitter under the same name. Next week, we are taking a week off. We are going to be back the week after that. We will be announcing that interview as soon as next week rolls out. So please keep an eye out. It's going to be so awesome. As well, keep an eye out for our other content. We do have one other show going right now under the name Peaked in High School, where our current content creator, Justin Broof, goes through albums from the MySpace era for people like myself who had to live through it in high school. We will be coming out with more shows soon. Please stay glued for that. Kemble, you put up with all of it. You got anything else you want to roll out before we go?
Yeah, just check AEGES out on all the streaming sites. Our website is AEGES, AEGES band.com. Same thing with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, AEGES band. So AEGES band. So yeah, that's it. Jam it. Tell your friends. Come hang out. Whenever the world opens up and when people breathe on you, it's not completely infectious. I would love to hang out and give people hugs and scream in your face. But until then, this'll do.
Fuck yeah. We'll have you back again soon so you can satiate your need for screaming at people a little more.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Have a fucking fantastic night. Stick around for a quick second. You and I are going to say a quick goodbye before we actually let you go. And for everybody in the chat, thanks again for coming. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys soon. Be well. Get your vaccines. Let us scream in your faces again. I'm rambling. Yes. Have a good fucking night.